So DJ Envy and Tyrese have been having a back and forth where on one hand, Tyrese said God called him to try to save their marriage, and which they admit that he did save their marriage. And then on the flip side of that, DJ Envy says that Tyrese started crossing lines and flirting with his wife. I'm going to let them break down how this all pans out.
So Tyrese was on the Breakfast Club last week, and he was talking about some of the things that he didn't like about the Breakfast Club, and he said that he was upset that we didn't check on him when he was going through his problems, because when I was going through my problems with my wife, when we were at our lowest, he was there to help.
And I did agree with this at first because it was like, on one hand, he saved y'all marriage, and then it's like, but when he was going through his divorce, they didn't seem to give him the same sympathy or trying to look out for him that he gave DJ Envy. But Envy will explain here why that was.
And I told him during that conversation, I didn't, because you said some things to my wife and myself that I thought was disrespectful. He said we didn't check up on him. We checked up on him numerous times. I guess after the interview, everything was good. He apologized. We left on a positive note. But I guess when he got back home, maybe he read the comments, maybe social media, whatever it was, he got into a fit, and one post he started crying and said we don't respect his mental. And then yesterday he did a whole long video and he called me a liar.
But for him to go on the airwaves and say I wanted to box you in the mouth because you disrespected my wife blocked you, I blocked you, and I just unblocked you a month ago, that's a lie, bro. Me and your wife were communicating August 11th, 2022. I got receipts. Did I disrespect your wife or did I not?
So to answer Tyrese, yes, he was blocked. And the reason I know he was blocked is because he had Charlamagne and myself on a group text, and I never replied because I didn't see it. He did speak to my wife, and he wanted me and my wife to go on live, and he wanted to ish on his ex Samantha. He wanted to ish on his wife. And I actually texted him, and I said, good morning. No, I'm passing on this. I prayed on it. Wasn't in the cards. Stay blessed. Have an amazing day. Right? Because I didn't want to be a part of him ishing on his wife. Right? So then he said I was lying and he never said anything disrespectful to my wife. Well, what he actually did was, when they were talking, he was one of those dudes, and we all know that guy that tries to plant those seeds. If you had a man like me, it wouldn't have went down like that. I would have never.
We all know these corny dudes be doing stuff like, he did what? And I would never cheat on you fine as you is. The whole time he over there laying up with he laid up in the bed with two chicks while he telling you this. I'm just saying, man, it's corny to take that angle if that's what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Fellas, stop doing that, man.
And I never said anything. And I'm going to tell you why I never said anything. I never said anything because, yes, Tyrese was there and he did help save my marriage. And I was like, I just don't want to ish on that. So I just kept it quiet and I just stepped away from him. Because it's difficult, because you have somebody that helped, but then you also have somebody that's trying to hurt. But me and my wife accepted the help side, and he opened us up to a place where, we were able to fix our relationship and fix our marriage. And our marriage is even stronger now. Then I got a text, July 8th, 2022. You got the text? I just sent you the text, right? That's somebody that works for Tyrese. You see that text?
I'm looking at the text.
Now, I never mentioned anything to anybody that he flirted with my wife. What does that text say?
I'm not reading this.
It says, yo, DJ Envy blessings. Stay away from Tyrese, bro. He tried to destroy my marriage and career. He will do the same to y'all. Please, I'm open to talk to you. I'm not trying to gain anything from this. I'm just sick of the devil, and I refuse to know what I know and not tell good people what's up with that cat. Please stay away. He will try and get your wife. What's the date of that?
July 8th, 2022.
July 8th, 2022. So
this is all alleged, so we don't know whose side is right, whose side is truthful or not. But if this is true, it's funny that this guy calls Tyrese the devil after hearing Tyrese talk so much about the assignment that God gave him to help DJ Envy and his wife save their marriage. And I just want to say, if this is true, it'd be the main ones like this. Some of you preachers and deacons and pastors that we got to worry about preaching God and then trying to sneak somebody's wife at the same time. We're going to get back to that.
It actually says, please stay away. He would try to get you and your wife.
Right. Shut up. But that just shows that's him as a person. Then the guy, he posts his picture and tells you his name, tell you who his wife is, tell you the people he knows. He says, "I want you to be real," because that's what Tyrese did. He did it to me, flirted with my wife, and he's doing it with you. He had no idea because I don't even know this gentleman.
I don't know why y'all didn't have that conversation when he was just up here.
Because I didn't want to disrespect him. I was like, I'm just gonna tell him what it is and leave it at that. He apologized, and he said it was the psych meds. Remember, it's the psych meds. Oh my God, I would never. Bull-ish.
Y'all lied to me. We sat here and had a whole hour and 30-minute conversation, and now you saying all of this stuff after the fact. Tyrese saying all of this stuff after the fact.
And you know what? You're absolutely right.
Yeah, Charlamagne is right, because, you just had an hour and 30-minute conversation, and both of y'all still didn't get everything off y'all chest. Like, y'all was supposedly putting everything on the floor, airing it out, letting each other know how you feel about certain things and where we disrespected and where we need to correct it to be brothers again. And yet still, y'all both went home with stuff on y'all heart. And now you airing it out after the fact. Like, come on, man.
Let's call my wife, please.
Oh, God.
Uh-oh.
Jesus Christ.
Am I on the radio?
Yes, you are. You're on the radio. Tyrese is calling me a liar. For people that don't know, I stopped talking to Tyrese, and there was a reason why I stopped talking to Tyrese. Not because only did I think he was a bozo and full of ish, but also because of the way that I felt he was talking and conducting business with my wife. For people that don't know, Tyrese helped save our relationship. When we were going through probably our lowest point and I cheated, Tyrese came in and really helped us and guided us through our relationship, correct?
Yes, he did. Absolutely.
And then we got to a point where we stopped talking to Tyrese. I even blocked Tyrese, and I wanted to box his mouth, as I said the other day. And can you explain to the people why we stopped talking to Tyrese?
Well, we stopped talking to Tyrese on two different occasions. Once, many, many years ago, when he did do that amazing thing for us. He and I became friends, and we were very, very cool, and we spoke often. And a lot of times you'd be laying in the bed next to me while I was talking to him. And at first everything was cool, but for me, it got to a point where it became inappropriate and uncomfortable, where I felt as though lines were being crossed. And you felt as though lines were being crossed, and we both decided that we were going to take a step back.
It's one thing to help them get through their marital problems. It's a whole nother thing to continue texting after that and so-called become friends. That's Tyrese is doing too much. That should have been a red flag off the rip. But then it got inappropriate, and that's when Gia started to notice. And shout out to Gia too, because she could have got her lick back on this one. DJ Envy cheated on her, so this could have been her moment to jab him in the gut, gotcha. You know what I'm saying? And that's a real stand-up woman to work through y'all stuff and choose not to do what you did to her.
And, there was times where I felt like he was extremely demanding of my time and of my attention, where if I didn't give him my time and my attention, he would get very angry, get very upset, and let me know what his expectations were of me. And, at that time, I didn't feel as though he was going through any mental issues. I didn't feel as though he was facing any mental challenges at that time. I know that he does go through things, and I know that he has been on medication, but at that time I felt as though he was very clear-minded and everything seemed cool. But when I started to feel uncomfortable and you started to feel uncomfortable, we took a step back.
And in Tyrese's defense, we don't know the timeline in which he was on or off psych meds. And the psych meds, if you don't know, did a lot of damage in Tyrese's life because they had him going off the deep end, crying and saying stuff and doing stuff that he didn't remember. A lot of terrible stuff that this brought out of him. And, he should get some passes for when he was on the meds. But we don't know the timeline of when he was on them. So she said she thought he was clear-headed at this point. So we're just going off what she's saying.
What lines were crossed? Because people would be like, well, what lines did he cross?
I don't really feel comfortable being specific because at the same time, I still do have a respect for him. I know that you still do have a respect for him. I would feel more comfortable just being general and saying that, there was flirting and inappropriate compliments for a woman who's married.
Okay, I respect that.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
Is that fair to say?
I don't have respect for him though, but yeah, no, I get it, and you do it, and I appreciate that. What he did.
How did you see it?
No, I know, I know that I know that everything that's going on right now, and I know that he's being boisterous about it. I haven't been on Instagram in the last 2 weeks because we've been really busy, but you've told me some things, but I haven't really seen it firsthand, so it's not going to affect me the same way it's affecting you because I haven't seen it. But what I can say is that very clear lines were crossed. And
I get it.
So how did you see it, Envy?
There's certain things that you don't say to a man's wife. There's certain things that you don't say to a man's girlfriend. There's certain things that you don't say in a flirtatious way. And I told you what he said. You spoke to my wife yesterday, so you know what he said.
So that's why you wanted to box. That's why you said I'll box your mouth.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to box his mouth. It's just certain things you don't play with somebody's wife like that. And
were you upset that he wasn't flirting with you in any way, shape, or form?
A little bit. No, you see, you playing too much. But no, when it comes to it, I look at it like this. Tyrese did help save my marriage, and I have a respect for him for that. That's the reason why instead of going at him, I just let it go. I just not so spoke to him anymore until he starts going up. Now, I don't know if he has a record to sell. He's trying to push his record or whatever it may be. I just don't like it. And the reason I don't like it is that man was up here. He was in our faces. We had a conversation. After the conversation, we let things go. And it's just always weird when people do that. They go home and now all of a sudden they do other things. We just had a conversation. We was just here for an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, that was strange.
But and I'm sorry to wake. I know you got to get the kids to school. I know two got to go to school right now, so I appreciate it. But I just don't like to be called a liar. And when somebody says, I got receipts, when I'm like, no, you spoke to my wife.
What receipts? What do you mean he said he has receipts? Because,
who knows?
I wouldn't want to, listen, I'm going to be honest. I don't want to be put in a position to divulge the things that were said. But if he's calling you a liar, it didn't have to go that far. If he's calling you a liar, then that's a step that might have to be taken. Because by no stretch of the imagination are you a liar. By no stretch of the imagination are you exaggerating anything.
Okay.
It was very clear. It was very inappropriate. And your reaction was very appropriate.
Well, babe, I love you, and I know you got to get the kids to school, so I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, sweetie pie.
Peace, Gia.
All right, bye, Charlotte.
So, yeah, that's everything DJ Envy had to say. But actually, Tyrese addressed everything Envy was talking about before he said it in one of those videos that Envy was speaking about after he left the Breakfast Club interview and went and made more videos. So he's not responding to this, but they actually touched on the same subject. He just said it before, but I'm going to play that. Shout out to Chick Smooth for the video.
Your girl, your baby mama, your wife, not Envy's, but anybody, you can leave me in a private room and you can secretly record the conversation. I will never disrespect another man's wife. I will never disrespect another man's woman. As a matter of fact, when women break up with dudes and they're going through what they're going through, if I actually know that and this ex-wife or ex-girlfriend is all of a sudden available, I won't even with that. That ain't who I am as a man. There's too many women out here to be out here messing with somebody if you know somebody that they used to. Like, come on, man. That's integrity that you learn in the hood. Real hood, no. You can get your whole head caved in. For real. For with another wife. We don't play those games. Too many have been laid out in the hood for crossing that line. You don't do that.
And so Tyrese seems very adamant about not kicking it with somebody's wife, or, you know what I'm saying, or trying to break up relationships. You don't want to kick it with somebody's, a baby mother. She been with her baby father for 20 years or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or this chick, you know that's her dude and they've been together for 10 years. Like, you don't want to be jumping into situations like that because it, for one, can get you shot. For sure. You know what I'm saying? And for two, it's just not honorable to do. It's just not. And I know a lot of people prefer to operate in this manner, but me, that's just something that was done in like the early 20s. It's just not something that I rock with anymore. I don't. I'm not trying to jump in between no relationship, between no husband and wife, and break up what God has brought together. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of single women out here. Now, as far as the baby mama thing, about everybody a baby mama out here, cuz, so I don't know. But, you know, it's different when you're like, oh, that's the baby mama. They've been together for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? She been with her baby daddy for 20 years. Like, you know, that's something different. You can kind of know they ghetto married. You know what I'm saying? But it's just as far as the flirting, or like you say, it's a woman that been with her dude for 10 years around the hood. You just know. But as far as the flirt, people gonna flirt though. People gonna flirt. But it what makes it disrespectful is if it's being reciprocated or not, and if it's being seen or not. Because people, you know, y'all know how, you know, the chicks got their little work husbands, and, you know, dudes got their work wives, where y'all be saying some reckless, wild stuff to each other, but it's be reciprocated. But it's see where it gets weird and iffy and touchy is that you be the one flirting, but they don't welcome that same activity. Or in cases like this, where it's like, oh, it's just, oh, they friendly, or blah, blah, blah. Or like you say, Tyrese helped them in their situation, and then now it's just like, oh, we're friends. And then it's like, oh, you looking good today. Oh, this, that, and the other. Like, now you being sneaky, bro. Now you being sneaky trying to pull that Jody move that they say back in the day. And I'm telling you, you're gonna end up limping, you know, because I don't know what Tyrese was on, but like they say, his psych meds could have very well been in effect. He could have been on them psych meds because it had him really off. So if he was, it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that he would be flirting with her, you know, or flirting with any woman and not remember it. You know what I'm saying? Of course, if it had him doing some of the stuff that we seen him do, then flirting is not really out of the question. But it's just a question of if that was in the timeline or not of when he was on the meds. But if he wasn't, and he was coherently, like, sneaky, trying to pull the move, cause we know these people, man. We got family members, we got friends that then pull these moves. You know what I'm saying? You leave them around your girl, and you got to be careful who you leave around your girl and your wife, because they be trying to, if they not honorable, they gonna try her. They gonna try her for sure. Dudes be jealous. Dudes be on some, you know, I got more money than him. What's she with him for? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it gets real dicey and dangerous. Because like I say, I better stop playing with people's wives and women like that, man. Because it's not a good place. It's volatile. You know what I'm saying? Especially when a dude feel like, oh, I kind of know, bro, or we supposed to be good friends, or we supposed to be family or something. And now you are actively trying to steal my wife and my life. Like, you being over the top disrespectful. And then, like I said earlier, about people who do this and operate this way and put God's name on it. Y'all just is a special type of evil. Like, keep hollering about God because, you know, Tyrese kept saying, oh, God gave me this assignment to help them with their marriage and help them heal and this, that, and other. And then I imagine out of all of that, if he was actively preaching all this God stuff and, oh, he kept me to bring y'all together, but then he steady sneaks in it. Because one thing that stood out in the interview to me was like, oh, he sent her pictures of when he bought an island and this, that, and other. It's just like, hold on, bro. Why is you sending my wife pictures? Like, you bought a car and you send my wife pictures. Like, you should be communicating with DJ Envy. If that's supposed to be your man's, or y'all didn't grow up together, but he kind of your man's where you ran to their rescue to help their marriage. So why would you not send him the pictures as versus sending his wife the picture? Like, that type of stuff is dicey and it's disrespectful. Like, you can't be doing that, man. So it's like, kind of make you think, like, was he on some shiesty? You know, like, because if you doing that, it's a dicey place to be in, man. But like I say, man, I don't like when people put God's name on all these preachers and pastors and deacons running around praying and laying hands on folk. put your hands in your pockets. You know what I'm saying? Keep your hands to yourself. Because what you're doing is not godly, man, and it's not going to be, it's not going to go down well for you. In God's eyes or in that man's eyes of the wife that you trying to sneak up on. You know what I'm saying? Or snatch away from him. Like when he catch y'all, it might gonna get real. And a lot of fellas we know, like, even if you did get caught in that situation, like, what I'm gonna be mad with this guy for? I'm mad at her, right? I'm gonna just walk away, but I'm just gonna tell you, a lot of dudes ain't logical in them type of moments, and they lose it. And yeah, that's a dicey place to be. But it's your boy P Camp. Let me know what you think, what you don't think. Get at your boy.